The following is a special presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and/or future. Well, good evening, and welcome to Action PC Football 2019. A first look. It is 6:56 Eastern Time on this 25th day of April, and within the last 5 minutes, the game itself was released, or at least I got the download key. So we're going to do this a little bit different. You're actually going to see my desktop the entire time tonight as a whole, as opposed to the edited stuff that you normally see, because I'm going to have to get that set. So I'm going to call up the chat. And hopefully someone is there. And we're going to just install the game here. So if you bought it, it is a live link in now, your download from the orders from Dave Cott Sports. We're gonna open it. We're gonna install the game on the big screen. No, you're not gonna get an email. How you doing, Dale? It's so new. You're gonna get the Windows protection thingy. Run anyway. So now's the time to ask questions about what you want to see. And if you've never unzipped this before, I think Dave Gardner said he had trouble with this before. Where do all the files go? Well, unzip the folder. It's all set. You just hit unzip. Nope. Do you want to allow this app to make unknown publisher to make changes? Yes, I'm pretty sure I know where this is coming from. You know, the nice thing is that it doesn't give you a warning anymore about it being older files. All right. Yeah, I'm not shutting things down. So here we go. Here's how you install. Hit OK. It'll create the directory for Action PC Football 2019 for you. Click on the computer. Click continue. And then off we go. I'll slow down for this part. A file is being copied is older than the file currently on your system. You always hit yes. Same for that. You'll always hit yes, just in case, because you know the game wants to run it. Action PC Football 2019 setup was completed successfully. Okay, so I don't need this anymore. I gotta go into this folder. You get to look at all the back end stuff on my computer. Okay. Program files. Football 2019. Football 2019. Supposed to open. Oh, here we go. And look, there's pictures. All right, so I want to. No, I do not want to do this stadium thing at this time. Why? Because it's going to overwrite all my fields. I don't want that. Ooh. So you get the 2018. Oh, I already bought the college playoff. Okay. So installing files is pretty much the same as installing seasons is pretty much the same as before. Find the season you want to go through, highlight it, and hit begin installation. And voila. Okay, let me do something real quick here. Take last year's icon off. Pin this year's to the taskbar. I'm going to do that right now, Dale. Okay. Any questions so far? The Deluxe Stadium package, Robbie, is all the if you don't have the modded fields already, such as the real fields, and I'll go on camera for that. If you don't have that already, then it will just install the generic fields, some basic colors and city names. I don't do that because it just mucks up the file, and because I'm probably not going to play too much of this season. It just don't want to add it. But if you want to add it, you can go right ahead. Okay, so looking at this, let me get my pictures fixed. First thing I'm going to do is go into Tools. And say hit the wrong button. Tools. Go into Tools. And I want to do first last, I think. They're going to give me some pictures. Okay, so I got pictures of the players from the last time I downloaded pictures, so it's within a couple weeks. So looking at this first screen here, there doesn't appear to be any changes outside of some color things. So what do you guys want to see first? I'll do it. We're going to set up two teams, and we're actually going to play a game. But this is the time that if you want to see something, now's the time to do it. Here's the new, kind of like the baseball here with the Drew Brees thing. Those are his statistics for 2018. He ran the ball 31 times for 22 yards. Gives his real passing stats. So that looks pretty similar to what was in the baseball changes. Game logs. History. Usage. So if you wanted to control what settings you set for Drew Brees, there you go. I don't know what that 2001 2-1 is. I might have started a season and not finished it. Schedule. All right. You got it. Schedule. Aha! So this looks new. And the computer schedule is already on here. It's all on the same screen. I click Tools. I don't want to. Oh, I can erase. You can okay. You have options here under Tools. You can remove all games, which cleans out the schedule. You can set all coaches to computer, which is the default anyway. You can set all coaches to human, which means that you would play everything. You can erase all scores. I don't think that resets the stats. It might. You can import, you can export, and you can restore the original schedule. Okay. You can view schedule by team. So here's, for instance, Carolina's schedule. And it gives you the automatic option to generate a schedule. Oops. And it did. Just like that. Okay. Now let's take a look at, that was all I needed to do. Was hit the button. It was already at 16 games over 17 weeks, and you got to play the division twice. Okay, let's take a look at New England. This is what it generated. Okay, so You got 2 3-game road trips. You didn't do it quite right because you see it's got Seattle and Tampa Bay there in the end, and it shouldn't. So let's see. Yeah, it's not. It's better than what it was. I'll get to the logos in a sec, Dale. Um, wow, that's actually quite bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It scheduled 8 NFC games for New England. It did the divisions right. You play everybody in the division twice. Buffalo was there, Miami's there, and the Jets are there, but it made 8 interconference games for New England. I don't think that's quite right. Shouldn't be more than 4. And so let me see, it scheduled conference games against the Colts, the Chargers, and that's it. It scheduled 8 NFC games, 2 AFC. I guess it needs some work. Okay, and because I didn't save it, it goes right back to the default schedule. So that's new. Let me put up New England again. Here's their real week schedule. Yep, this is the new play schedule. I'll get to that in a second, Robbie. So here's the real schedule for New England last year. And as you can see, it has all the divisional games already set. It looks like they played the NFC Central North. So at Detroit, at Chicago, home against Green Bay, home against Minnesota. So it's all right there for you at a glance, and you can do the computer generated schedule, but it's not going to be right. Just in that one example from New England, as I said, it gave 8 interconference games and only 2 within the AFC. So that is how that's at least better, and we'll see if he adopts it. It looks like it's going to be a lot easier if I wanted to remove a game and schedule a game. Let's say I wanted to, you can build a new game. Jacksonville at Seattle. Boom. Oh, and it warns you. Jacksonville was already scheduled for week 1. Had another game that week? No. Okay. Because it's a recent thing. It gives you the option to remove a game too. So I could, let's say, okay. So that's pretty easy to remove a game. If you want to change the date, let's say Seattle and Denver were moved to Tuesday because of the weather. That's the same as before. I'm going to click on Tuesday. I don't want to play around with it too much because it's pristine. So it looks like it will do that kind of easily. The adding is there. It looks like it's going to be easier to add. All the Thursdays and Mondays are there. The bye weeks, it looks like they're there. How did I remove a game again? All right. Well, we'll just remove the Thursday game between Miami and Houston. No one watches the Thursday games anyway. I go down here to remove the highlighted game, and it gives me, and it makes it double check. Remove Miami and Houston. And if I wanted to, I would click yes. I'll click no. You can delete games on the schedule. It just shows you how to do that. You can add games to the schedule. It'll warn you if there's already something there. So if you wanted to build something by hand, I wonder if there'll be a patch for the baseball coming out soon to create schedules. It's better, but not really. At least it gave you the bye. All right. Well, thanks for watching. And I'm not sure who's in the championship set. Let's look, shall we? So if you just bought the basic game, these are the teams. Oh, you got the 4 2018 teams. The final four from 88, San Francisco, Cincinnati, Chicago, and Buffalo. The 2010 Final Four, Green Bay, Chicago, Pittsburgh, and New York. The 77 Final Four teams of Dallas, Minnesota, Denver, and Oakland. The 99 Final Four, St. Louis, Tampa Bay, Tennessee, and Jacksonville. And the 64 Final Four, Cleveland, Baltimore, Buffalo, and San Diego. And for the older players, the pictures are there. And so all you got to do is reset player photos because it doesn't come as a default because that's the way that mine are named, first underscore last. You make sure that's checked. Reset player photos. And the name. All right, so we want to see how Robbie wants to see what the new in-game schedule looks like. Okay. There's no schedule set. Ah. All right, so we generated a quick and dirty schedule. Aha! So here's the new schedule screen. You can take advantage right here. It shows the day that the game is scheduled, the proper colors for the years and such are there. So if I wanted to play a game, I could. I will not from here, but I could do. So let's say it'll be great for when I do 86 in the fall. It puts the entire schedule up. And let's say I know I don't want to play Green Bay and 77 Denver. It's set to be computer versus computer. I can change that to be human. I don't want that, so I go over to computer and I play the auto. And it plays the game. Okay? You want to see what the new boxes look like? You can see the instant stats. That does look nice. Hi, Sebastian Strat. How are you? This is really a step forward, I think. Let's see what the new box scores look like. Again, this is with the old. I haven't set up any logos. This doesn't look any different. Craig Morton went 3 for 17, and they won. So this doesn't look any different. There's the scoring drives. Drive summary. I mean, that's all been there before. Team stats. Okay, there's nothing really new there. Injuries. Oof. Oof. 2 players out for 11 weeks. Highlights not available. And if you want to go to play-by-play, that's always been there. Okay? All right. Yeah, close game. Not a very good one, I can't think. So it gives that highlight. So we'll do anything else you want to see on this screen before I move on? So you can play the week. You just press the button for play week. Gives you some instant stats. It plays them relatively quickly. Looks to be a little bit bigger of a screen than the other one. You see the standings. You get the rushing yards. So there's some good offensive stats there. Defense, it keeps track of interceptions, forced fumbles, sacks, hurries, tackles, deflections, stuffs, and if anyone scored. Percentage, and Mason Crosby hit at 55, and the live stuff is still there. Okay, anything else you want to see on that screen, guys? All right, well, if there is, just let me know. Okay, and so it gives you the recent games and the upcoming games, and as before, this doesn't look any different, gang. Um, the defense, the offense, the power ratings, that's all the same. That's all the same. And here it breaks it down by team. So again, on the front part of the engine, that pretty much looks like it did before. Standings, that really hasn't changed that much, if at all. Team stats, so you can look at things at a glance. I think that's been there before. Who would I think would win? I would say, well, let's play it out real quick. Oh, that's not what I want to do, though. Gives you the line scores for week 2. And I think I messed it up. I done think I messed it up. Yeah, I froze the game. How about that? How about that? I froze the sucker. Okay. So let's go through and get back to the 2018 set. And we're going to mod two teams because we're going to play Kansas City and New Orleans. So, any other questions before we go on to the actual modding of the teams? And I should say this is brought to you by HockeyTournaments.com if you're looking to find a hockey tournament in North America. HockeyTournaments.com is where you go to find it. If you are looking to organize a tournament this summer, this fall, or next winter, I don't want to talk about this winter anymore. Go to www.hockeytournaments.com and find the package that's right for you. Okay, so that's the front screen. Let's go ahead and mod some teams, shall we? This pretty much looks the same as it has in every year. Kansas City, he can't sell the game with the nicknames. The team is right. The head coach is right. It's going to Chiefs. And we're going to play New Orleans. Again, Superdome is there. Sean Payton is there. Abbreviations are there. He can't sell it, of course, with the stadium name. If you want more or less penalties for the team, this is where you adjust it. Right in here. And I would go through and if you wanted to, you could. That's how you change the name. You change colors and change their. None of the colors that I thought needed to be changed. Anything really gaudy? Those all seem pretty legible to me. Let's say I wanted to change the third color, pretty much the same thing. Okay, very easy to do. All the stuff that they've done in years past. Okay, football's got a number of things, so now we go to team graphics. Oh, this is kind of new. So Kansas City, I don't want that logo. I want that. Click on a sign, boom, it's there. New Orleans. Find it on my list. Here we go. No changes. So if you've done them in the years past, or at least for the logo, that's the same. If I wanted to put in the like a coach photo, I could. So let's say that would be my coach. It's not Sean Payton. All I have to do is assign the photo. Okay? I'm sure there'll be a mod for that somewhere. Jerseys for New Orleans. For a road, you'd put white in. And so that would be how you do the images. You find the one that you want. In this case, for road, you do white. Assign uniform image. Home. Again. Scroll down. You want dark. That's what the D is. I've never seen that uniform before in my entire life. Let's go with that. Okay. Touchdown music. You can assign whatever you want as long as it's a WAV file, a WAV file. I'm not going to do that. Uncle Ron doesn't know his alphabet. Same as before. Find the year in the field that you want. Use field. It's there. And then we're all set to play. My logo is there. Well, I took out the coach. That's where my coach's photo is. My road jersey. My home jersey. Touchdown music if I wanted it. And my field. They're indoors. I don't need a rain or a snow field. I can do that to Kansas City real quick. There. Oops. There. All set. To the jerseys. Again, W for home. Or W for road, rather. And D for home. Make sure after you're done making your changes that you don't X out. You got to hit OK, or else the changes won't take. All right? Yeah, this looks pretty nice. This looks pretty nice. Okay, let's set up a game, shall we? I'm going to play Kansas City at New Orleans because this would have been the Super Bowl, or this could have been the Super Bowl. I'm going to play. I'm going to have home field on. We're going to pretend this game is in New Orleans. And for the first little bit, I'm going to set this up like I always do. And going to play had the computer coach both defenses. But once we go through some of the offensive stuffs and through a couple of series, then I will switch off and show you the defense. So the teams, well, that's for the exhibition game. That hasn't changed. That's always been the case. Okay? So you have the choice of course, of modern football. New Orleans won the toss. They can receive, they can kick, or they can defer. And for whatever ungodly reason, teams defer. So we will defer. Kansas City will receive it. And I will change that in a second. That's the vertical field. Same as before, Pat Mahomes is not going to have a picture. Just like it always is. So let me get this right. We haven't even looked at these yet, boys and girls, have we? Come on. Well, you know what? Let's do this right. Set up. Okay. This has not changed. Okay, the game setup has not changed. Game display. Horizontal. I'm going to or uniform instead of photo. Display the skills there, and everything's going to be on the right side. Expanded playlist. But we'll go through that in a minute. I don't do play-by-play in team colors. Penalty. Pause before revealing penalty. That looks new. I'll check that. Display injured players leaving the field. And the notables pop up. You've seen that a lot on my replays. That's on the upper left. Field display horizontal. We don't need the midfield logo because that will have a logo on it. Robbie, if you just use the ones that come with the game, and if you have the logos, you can display the midfield logo. Display uniform numbers. Lineups, uniforms. Ratings are none. And let me slow down the chalkboard. Okay, sounds. You can even set pregame music. How about that? No narrator. That's how you change the narrator sounds if you want that. Just click on what you want. Pre-play, the play, or full play-by-play. You get David or Zira, the female. Okay? So any other question? I don't like differing. What do you mean differing? What's differing, Robbie? So again, I'll set it up. Kansas City, New Orleans. Let's play it. Okay, so this, I'm not noticing anything. Oh, you get challenges because it's a modern season. So again, same thing. That hasn't changed. I always have the percentage thing here. Oh, deferring. Oh, I hate deferring. I hate deferring. You win the toss, you take the football. But that's not how you play modern football. There's going to be nothing there that's copyright at all, Robbie. Not a blessed thing. So it shows you the line if you wanted to line up the in-game box score. That has this hasn't changed. Stats, usage, injuries, matchups, year-to-date stats, and the scouting plays. Okay. You ready? All right. Kansas City's going to return this. Smith back to return deep for KC. Oh, now this is new. I can return safe, or since they booted it 9 yards deep in the end zone, I'm going to down it. But return safe is now a new option. So that's the first new thing I've seen in the game. And so here we go. Okay. This is it just shows the uniforms, and that's fine. So it tells me I'm in a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver offense, which is set. I'm guessing that's the way they really do it. And so if you take a look around, there's a lot of changes here. You can see the running back, and from here you can split him without, used to be this was kind of in small print on the bottom, but it's just a one-click thing. You can move him out as a wide receiver. See where that arm moved? Or I can have him as a blocker. And then plays are now sorted by, that looks a little bit better. So I have my inside runs, which is the drive, the traps, the draw, the sneak, and the over the top. Oh, they actually put the special plays in there too. My outside runs, which are the bootleg, the quick, and the stretch. The run left, the run right. Okay, so but there's a lot of plays that were on those first 2 screens are now there on the one. When I click on that, I can just go outside run and select a run counter. So, oops. That didn't quite work now, did it? So I'm going to go hunt on an outside run. So I can go really basic if I want. I'll slow that down later. Oops. That was a good play. You got 18 yards. It's 1st and 10 from the Kansas City 43. All right. Let me slow that down. Okay, or I could call a specific play. So there's a lot of actually. How you doing, Bobby Catalano? It does look more organized. Look, you know, if Al's still here, it looks a lot more like 2nd and 10, doesn't it? You can just kind of be basic with the call. Let's say if I just want to call a short pass, and it gives me the option of who I want, or have the computer make the call, and from here I can decide. Those options that were on the bottom of the screen. A quarterback must pass, a play action pass, or a plus on the route. So if I just want to call a short, Dave, this should help you out a bit. If I just want to call a short pass, I pick my receiver, in this case Hill, and let's see what happens. And Mahomes is going to run, and he's going to get knocked down for a gain of 1. So Tyreek Hill didn't get there. Mahomes had it. Okay? That's kind of cool. What's a quick pitch? Dave, they took out your favorite play. So if I want to run a quick pitch to Hunt here on 2nd and 9, that's all I got to do. And he didn't get tackled for a safety. I'm sorry. Okafor with the tackle. And Hunt has two carries for 20 yards. And fatigue works the same way. If you look over here, that 96 gives you his energy level. 3rd and 7. I suppose I should pay attention here. So let's say I want to throw a medium pass. This, like I said, has changed a little bit. Let me throw into Watkins. New Orleans blitzes. Mahomes throws down to Hunt. First down, he gets it across the 40 for a gain of 15. So 1st and 10 for Kansas City. So again, it looks like you can be as general and specific as you want. If you're just kind of content with run left, run right, the different type of pass patterns, all you gotta do is play it as on the left. This is where you would go shotgun if you wanted to, where it says shot. Quarterback and running back move to the shotgun position. If I run a pistol, I just hit there. If I want to roll out Mahomes before he throws, I can do that. If I want to play a strong left instead of a strong right, I can set my lineup that way. And it's easier to put my tight end in motion. This is for field goals. That's a little bit easier. Punt, or obviously the CPU play. Here are my clock options. Oh, this is new, the lineups. And it tells me what my sets are, and if I can. So if I want to make a change instead, this is brand new, guys. Enjoy watching the draft. Well, the computer's always been able to call a play for you, Robbie. If you want to make a change in the formation, all you gotta do now, you can see it there and just click on the player. And the guards. Wow, okay. So if I want Conley to get a break, I just click on Robinson. And it tells me some of his stats. I double click and boom, he's already there. So you can get really complex about what you want to call. And I can make my defensive changes right here too. Wow. And special teams. So my field goal, who's going to do my kickoffs, my punt returns. It tells you your long snapper and your holder. So let's say Colquitt, the holder, botched the last one. I can double click on Mahomes right here, and then Mahomes can be my holder. That is cool. That is very, very cool. Take care, Al. So that's a lot easier to change lineups there. I think Dave, you'll find that there. All right, what do I want to run on 1st and 10? Let's try the old-fashioned trap right. Again to Hunt, and that's on the pistol, right? Got 3 yards. If I don't want to run the pistol, I just snap that back and the quarterback goes under center. Any questions, guys? I know I went over that fast. The jet sweep. So you can still call passes the same way you did before. Oh, there are 3 different kinds of screen, short pass, short flat, short quick, short out, short hitch, short slant, short cross. Okay, 2nd and 7, I want to run a short slant. I'm going to go to Travis Kelce for the pass. Now New Orleans will blitz. So the audible screen is the same. So I'll do my screen pass to the running back. Hunt's got it, 40, 35, 30. It worked. First down, a gain of 12. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the New Orleans 24. No, Robbie, don't even ask. I like that. The offensive calls look much more organized. You can call a fade. You can even call trick plays from here, which you used to have to go for the 2nd screen. So if I wanted to do an end around, let's say I want to do an end around to Watkins here. Flag is down. Jordan is there. Loss of 4.
Encroachment defense. Number 57, 5-yard penalty.
And he's got a picture. Of course I'm going to accept that. What happens when you click on the white play buttons instead of the gray ones? All right, that just is the old way of running a play. So let's say I want to run a draw to hunt. So it's the same as before, except for that they have much more on the screen. So if you want to run a specific play, draw to hunt, give to hunt, Rankins tackles them for no gain. So the gray buttons right around here are if you just want to run a general play. If you want to be specific about a play, then you can. That's what the white ones are for. Combo pass is the same as before. Pick a number of receivers and run it. Okay. Hit cancel. Specials. So if you hit the specials button, you can run a delayed draw, a fake reverse, a Statue of Liberty, double reverse, a shovel pass, which is never run in the history of Buffalo again, Hail Mary, hook and ladder, which are grayed out because of where I am on the field, reverse flea flicker, a trick pass, and some combos. You can run some read options, or if you're a college player, you can run the triple option. So it's great if you're doing that. So the read option, which would be, if we were doing, like I said, a college game, if I was to do Alabama and Clemson again, or any of the other college teams, that's how you do it. Or the traditional triple options, the old-fashioned option play. So 2nd and 5. What's a quick? Oh, that's a quick pitch. Trap right. And Jordan makes a tackle, so 3rd and 6. I'm already running 3 wide receivers. Hunt's going to come out. And you can still make changes this way, too. So Spencer Ware is in for 3rd down. I'm going to work out of the shotgun. I want to throw a short quickie. No, I don't. Yeah. To Hill. Mahomes throws, incomplete. So tell me 4th down. Oh, you can see in the 4th down that the field goal and punt options go into green. So Butler, same as before. A little more color, though, on the screen, guys. Field goal, kick is up. Kick is good. So New Orleans will get the ball. And again, I have 3 options. I can return safe, which was a check mark before, and watch the onside. Let me just run a safe return here. That's kind of a new option. Nope. I'm down at 7 yards deep. Okay. What do I like and what don't I like so far? I think you guys chime in too. Robbie, what are you liking so far with this? I like the new schedule screen. I think that the computer generated schedule definitely needs some more work, but it's a step in the right direction. As far as the on-game screen, I think it should be easier for someone who is new to pick it up, because you might not know what bootleg, quick, and stretch are. But if you look at it and go inside run, outside run, and then you have the option for the computer, it's all keyboard driven too, then you can have, just like with a hockey game, Dave, as much or as little interaction with it as you want. And so if let's say you're being real specific with the plays, like you would be before, running all sorts of traps and off tackles, and it's just not working, fine, run left. You call the bloody play, and that's there. So I think it's much more, this offensive screen here is much more noob friendly. I don't think I'm going to play a whole game here, but this is much more noob friendly as far as being able to dive right in and get as complex or as easy as you want. I like the fact that you can adjust the lineups for your entire team right from that one button, and it's just pick the player that you want to go in, and it's one click. That's a lot easier. There's a lot. Yep. No. Um. And Sebastian Strat makes the good point. You know, it can be rather intimidating to look and go, what? All these plays? No, they've simplified the play calling process. It looks like they've simplified how to make changes in the lineups, especially for linemen, because there's a lot of people who do draft leagues or, you know, on the ratings. And so if you don't like a certain lineman, uh, you can go ahead and do that just with one button. And the color screens look very nice, even though I don't think that's all that new. The field is there. The lineups are there. I gotta slow down the play the chalkboard. Chalkboard seems to be pretty much the same, but then again, like I said, we're not going to get fully into it because we're already almost an hour in. Let's play the Chiefs on defense. You're going to see me play defense, and let's see what the changes are there. Do I think the chalkboard is any better? I don't think what we could tell from those 9 plays if it was. It's not any worse. But that's going to be, I mean, to get back to Robbie's point, yeah, we're probably going to do some sort of football thing in a while. But we've got to catch up on some other things. And so I really won't be able to tell until I actually play an outright game. But it doesn't look any worse. And as Robbie said, the scheduling thing, I think it looks a lot better. The in-week schedule looks a lot better. And of course, you can set up to play live just like you do with the other games. Anything else that you want to see before we get into some defensive stuff? And I'll just give that a second. Let me go through and the options here. Game setup. We'll set New Orleans to computer and play Kansas City. Okay. It's helpful if I put on the screen. This looks as convoluted as it always has. And this is why I don't play a heck of a lot of defense. But you kind of have the easy and the difficult options here. This hasn't changed. You can run, I guess Kansas City set up for a 3-4 basic. So you can just run an all-purpose basic defense. You can run call for a run against the run on a 3-4. Anticipate a pass on a 3-4. The prevent, which only prevents you from winning. You can just hit a 1 button for a goal line. If I want a key on Kamara, which I probably will do here in first down, that's a 1 button thing there. If I want a double Thomas on a pass, that you've always been able to do that there. If I want to play for the short pass, that's always been there. And if I want to play against a long pass. So the basics are there if you don't want to get too technical in the defense. Holy crap. And then you have all these options here. God, no, we're not even looking there. That just looks way too complex. But if you want to play, when we did the basics of this game a few weeks ago, I mean, you can get as complex with this as you absolutely want. I mean, that looks like Greek to me, for goodness sakes. There's no way in hell I would ever do that. I think, Robbie, that I put it up for the pictures. So I wouldn't leave the uniforms on for anything else. I'd have the pictures up for the players. Apparently, you can't. What I wanted to do, Dave, was for the players that didn't have pictures, because it's not a new picture set that I have, to make sure it just wasn't the generic silhouetted player. They probably, but so yeah, the scheduling screens, Robbie, are going to come for the other ones. This was the test project, because Dave asked nicely. I'll take them off. And so those are the only pictures that I have. So we'll take them off. Normally I would have pictures on. I like the pictures. But you have to have most of them. So what's I going to do? I was going to do the key run on Kamara. Brees passes, throws to Thomas, first down. Fuller makes the tackle at the 12-yard gain. Yeah, if I hit CPU, it's just going to call the play for me. Brees to throw, checks it down to Kamara, who's a good receiver, and Hitchens makes a tackle after a gain of 7. So as far as the chalkboard is concerned, guys, I haven't seen anything different. So it's a 2nd and 3. Play against a short pass. Of course, he runs. First down, gain of 5. And I suck. I just suck all over. All right, so if you want, for the Red Sox fan and all of us, you can just do the coverage here. I can call a zone. If I want to do a zone blitz, do a safety blitz here. And the basic. So you can see the safety blitz. He gave it away. There was an injury, and Ragland's to the sidelines. So that's the same as it was. I know it's a little too fast. Let me slow it down. I think the chalkboard looks smoother. You might want to... Yeah, I definitely need to slow it down. But you can see I've got it up to halfway. All right. So if I want to key somebody, what is it? 2nd and 10. I'm going to key Teddy DeGinn Jr. here. And so if he gets it, he's not going to get... If they throw it to him, he won't get any yardage. Play for the pass. Oh, I can't keep him to run. Ugh. You can play tight man-to-man. I can double 2. I can double 1. But Thomas is the one that has the best chance. And you can see what the completion percentage is and what the double will do. So let's double again. And play for the pass. And that went for Thomas, and that was incomplete. Any other questions? So it's 3rd and 10. I'm going to go with a dime. I'm going to double Thomas again, Jr. And play for the pass. Not going to blitz. Throws. And he deflected by Barry. And the injury's there. All right. So here's the thing on special teams. So here's my options for Kansas City and returning a punt. I can go for a punt return. I can try to block the punt. I can let the punt roll. I can automatically, that's new. I can call for a fair catch that normally would come once I knew where the ball would be. Safe punt return and watch for the fake punt return. So I'm going to go for the punt return. Punts it out of bounds. And so it's at the 15. And so I have all sorts of options here for formations. I can work out of the I. I have 3, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back sets. The conventional modern 3 receiver, 1 running back set, 2 running back set, 4 wide receiver and a tight end, 5 wide receiver, a double tight end with 1 running back, a double tight end with 2 running backs, a triple tight end set. When the hell's the last time you saw that in a modern football game? A full house backfield, which is 3 running backs and 18,000 tight ends, and the blowout, which is pretty much self-explanatory. And I can set up out of the I. the same as before. If you want to play a wishbone or a single wing, you can. I can even do a hard count if I want to try to draw them offside. Not many huge changes. I think you're right. I think the big one, Dave, is I think that they've made. I should look at the camera if you're going to be on there, dingle butt. I think the big change is simplifying the play calling and moving some of the more of the trick plays onto that main screen, because I would never go on that second screen to call. You're just kind of out of sight, out of mind. And so, just like you saw with the defense, you can be, as Sebastian Strat said, um, you can just be real basic with the play call. You can still choose your receiver or your carrier. You can call the direction of the run, or you can get real specific. And I like that. Yes. Did I miss that? If Dale asked that, the logos and stuff are all there from year to year. It's in the DK Sports data folder. That's part of your main hard drive partition, and so it's all there. So all the mods that you saw me do in the beginning were there, stuff that I've had there, from all year, from years past. And so I was able to call up the Saints field that I wanted, the logos on for Kansas City and New Orleans. I've just had the helmets. Not seeing many changes in the chalkboard. I think Dave is right. I think it is running smoother. Um, if you're on the fence about this, I think. What do you think, Em? Em says you're done. You're done playing games. No. I think it's a little more accessible to beginner players. I think the Dave Gardner's and Sebastian Strats, I think, uh, would have an easier time with it. And as far as it being as complex as you want, that hasn't changed. So what would you like me to show you next? The cat wants to say hi on camera. You know what? No, she never wants to say hi on camera. She used to. See the dirty look I'm getting? She used to sit off camera and glare at me. That was fun. I think what we'll do though is probably not tonight, but as I've already taken an hour, uh, is probably early next week, maybe Monday or Tuesday night. Sit down and actually play a game. I got to talk with a certain someone about what, but yeah, so we might get, do some one-offs or something like that, and play a full game like I normally would, and kind of demonstrate it there, because I'm not seeing. I mean, there's a lot of easier things. I think it's much more it's the user friendliness level is a lot higher, I think, than the last one, and I think each year has improved. But as far as anything dramatic, I like it. How accurate when playing basic? That's a good question, Sebastian, because that's new there. Um, you can go back on a playlist and watch me play the 1978 season. I haven't done the playlist for the Patriots Challenge, and that was all done with the 18 version. And we got the real Super Bowl. We got Pittsburgh beating Dallas in the last couple of minutes. Isn't that right? Don't be snobby. You're better than that. So I'm not sure if that's going to be. I think it probably is not going to make a difference as far as accurate. I just think it's going to be easier. And if you've never watched one of my football streams, I don't play defense. I just find it too complicated. I really don't like it. Al plays defense. Um, Al Red Sox fan plays defense, and he enjoys it. I really don't, but to each their own. Any other questions? What else would you like to see? As far as modding the game, if you joined us late, there aren't any changes to that. Pictures go in the same way. I mean, it's much more like if you took an old pair of comfortable shoes, had new soles put in the bottom, but when you put them on, the leather or the material is just broken in, and it's just got a good grip. I think that would be it. I think if you Would I say this is I know someone's going to ask me if I think this is a must upgrade. I think so. I think the UI changes, the changes to make it easier to understand, I think make it worthwhile. If you were on the fence about the game before, maybe bought one or two versions ago, um, and couldn't make heads or tails out of it, this should be easier to. How are the trading mods? There's no AI. Don't hit the wrong buttons, Em. My cat has a cute butt, don't you think? Get down. Um, you're gonna make me yell at you, aren't you? Get down. She's trying to find the bag of candy I have there. She thinks it's her treats. Good girl. She's gonna get down. So there's no trade AI with it. You got to do all that by hand. I think that's what you're. Is that what you're asking, Dale? I'll run a couple more plays while you guys figure out what you want to ask. Oops, she worked on the keyboard. Still, if you want to click on an individual player and call a play, that screen has not changed. I can still call run plays from there. Undisclosed injury, but he'll stay in the game. That's new. You can see what Mahomes can do. He can actually take the safety, and so a lot of that has not changed. And sometimes you just want to do that. Okay, I want to work it to my tight end. What's going to be the easiest? So those have not changed. We'll just go with the original play call here. In a hurry, complete to Kelce, and he gets it across for a gain of 14. Run some long passes. That's when Emily wants candy. Yeah, there's the trading. It's all done by hand. There's no AI with that. Can you shut? Yes, you can shut injuries off. We can get. All right, Dave wants to see a long pass. There you go. Here's your long pass. Well, it's a short one. He dumped it. All right, gain of 12. Long fly. The tight end. New Orleans blitzes. That seems a lot smoother, Dave, doesn't it? And he beat the double coverage. So there's some new stuff in the play-by-play as well. Long cross. Yeah, that seems smoother, doesn't it? Incomplete. Anything else you want to see on the game screen? 2nd and 10. Again, this is the same thing as before. A little more color. And one-click play calling. There an injury slider is on and off. All right, let me get out of the game. Let's go to rules. So I'm assuming this is the same as it is every year. And it changes colors so you know that the mouse is there too. All right, I'm going to take a drink. 1 second. So the basic rules are pretty much there. You can determine where the kickoff line is, where the goalposts go. Everything is default for the year. Kicks, where you miss on a field goal. Touchback rules are the same. How long the season is. Whether to defer. Where the extra point line is. How many challenges you get. What the overtime rules are. All right. There's actually, you can play high school rules, which I think is 8. You can change the minutes in a quarter. So you can go up to 20 minutes in a quarter. Or play a 1-minute quarter. Okay, you can do high school rules. You can do special teams coverage options. I mean, that's... Structure. Okay. You choose the league, you can pro, a draft, a college. You can do the alternate reality. You can locate player photos. If you're in a draft league, you can set a salary cap. You can set the game era, which I would never touch. Standard is the best because it will blend the years of cross era. Usage. You can have season usage penalties, which I never use. But you can, and you can set the severity of the usage depending on how much they play. I don't do that. You can have game usage penalties. Again, severity depends on what you want to use and what you don't want to use. So let's say you got someone that's got 10 carries for the year and they're coming in, and you can just set how much of that becomes a major once they cross the threshold of 20% of their real life usage. So that means that you can't run Franco Harris 40 times in a game. Injuries is what you want to see. Let's see what they've done here. Multi-game injuries, game ending and multiple game injuries, uses multiple durability, multi-game player rating. Multi-game durability ratings range from 0 to 10. 0 will be missed large portions, while 10 will very rarely miss a complete game. Partial game injuries, league injury preferences. So this is what you can check. Preset injuries. So you can actually set injuries from the roster screen if you wanted to. Pre-game injuries, occasional one-game injuries prior to the start of a game. What's checked is limit regular season games missed to real-life total. So let's say you wanted Tom Brady got hurt but didn't miss any games. So if he started all 16 games, he's not going to miss the entire season. Post-game injuries and overused players more injury prone. And you can now set a limit for how many players can be injured on the roster. So if you don't want more than, let's say, 5 players injured, then a game won't injure more than 5 players. How about that? That's pretty cool. Injury rating, none, low, normal, or high. I usually play with low. I certainly wouldn't want to play with high. But it looks like they have played with that. There's some biggies here. What does alternate reality do in these games? I'm really not quite sure. I think it kind of would go to like an OOTP rating thing as opposed to being based on stats. So instead of, it would just kind of go pure on the ratings as opposed to the stats. Fatigue meter. That has not changed. If you're not familiar with this, it's the same for all the games. 90 to 100 full strength, 80 to 89 they're starting to tire. Under 79 means they're beat. And in football, the blitz usage percentage is based on blitz frequency. And it's possible once you play into the season that players start semi-tired. Penalties. You can change what you want for yardage. So you give it a year. So here's what the current rules are. I just leave it to realistic. I don't think that it's not realistic. Or you can have more. Or you could have none. You could. That's new too. You can now drag it down by 10% increments. So you can have realistic. You can have half the penalties. You can have no penalties. Whatever your heart desires. That's pretty cool. Formations. In the modern game, everything's going to be checked. But let's say if you didn't want 5 wide receivers, you just collect that, and you won't be able to run a 5 wide receiver. That's in there, and per the season, that will change. In quick play, pretty much everything that's there, that's always been there. That's the live function, by the way, in the scoreboard. So if you played with that, In other sports, you can just play with that to your heart content in football. And so, yes, I think Dave is right. A few nice new things in there. The penalty setting changes, I think, are new. Let me go on camera. The penalty setting changes are new. That's pretty granular. You can actually turn it down to off to double the regular. So if you wanted to do like a Blood Bowl type thing, you could really, have flags flying all over the place. So if you think there are too many penalties, then you can turn it down. I like that. Injuries, there's a lot more flexibility with what you do with that. The usage and the fatigue meters are pretty much the same. But the injuries and the penalties, I think, are very cool additions. And you can highlight everything that you want. Other questions, guys? If you're just kind of watching and hanging around the chat, ask away, and I will do what I can to answer. We go back to the game screen here. Compare. Oh, don't know what that is. Encyclopedia. I think there's some new functions with that. Let's see what we do here. Let me go back to. And the great thing about the Dave Koch games is that you can use, if you have an older season or whatever, it's all there. So here's how. Now let's try to run the compare thing. Aha! So team comparison chart. So you can see what teams did on the offense overall. So good team things. So you can see who had the most prolific passing offense. Who threw for the most touchdown passes. Who was the most stingy defense. So that's kind of new. Can you play coach to coach? Yeah, the more that we'll play, the more that you have it, that we'll figure out what's new. I mean, a lot of the things um with the baseball just came from playing it. So if you're familiar with the changes they made to the graphical interface in baseball, they've been implemented a lot of those in the football. And you can play coach to coach. You mean again on the internet against somebody? Yes. Mr. Gardner and Mr. Red Sox fan and Mr. Ron are supposed to figure out how to do that. And once we do that, we'll share how to do that with you guys because that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, I think on the first blush, again, if you joined us late, offense should be easier to figure out if you're new to the game. Much more of a introductory, basic offensive play calling as opposed to the and as complex as you want. No, what play to play? Yeah, you can watch play to play. You can't with baseball, but you can with that. You can set up two computer teams and have the CPU play the CPU. And yes, and if you don't buy the new version, so let's say if you waited a couple weeks and wanted to buy the 2018 season, which is always expensive, but let's say if you bought the, I don't want to upgrade. Every season works with every version. Anything else you guys want to ask? So probably because I'm going to play the second half of that doubleheader on Friday in the afternoon, and sometime between now and Saturday and Tuesday night, I will actually do a game. I wanted to do Kansas City and New Orleans just because they were the two teams that should have had cases for the Super Bowl. But now if I can't find pictures, I don't want to do that. Chalkboard seems a lot smoother. That one long pass that was completed, you could actually see the ball kind of hang in the air. That was kind of cool. Yeah, it was up there this afternoon too. That was on sale for that. So if you're kind of hesitant about the game, and if you have any version of the game before, it was $38.20, and that comes with the 2018 season and the championship season, which had the four or however many Final Fours. So you can plenty of that. Dave's thinking about hitting the like button. Wow, I've impressed him. Any other game questions? Like I said, I don't think I wanted to go through a full game because I think it's going to take a little bit too long, and we're already at an hour and a half. Can you play the different? Yes, you can, Dale. You can set it up as an exhibition, or you can just go through and set up a league. There's also the 144 greatest teams of all time, and that's how I did the Patriots Challenge. I just scrapped. So if you go back and watch those Patriot Challenge videos, it was the 2007 Patriots against a variety of teams from different leagues and eras. But again, with football, if it's not like baseball where you can go crazy and play the 1941 Boston Red Sox against the 2007 New York Yankees. I mean, yes, you can play a team from the 40s against a team from the aughts, but it's like different versions of English. It'd be like me going into, it's football, but it's a completely different game. So a couple more minutes to see what you guys have. I can take a look. Go to the roster screen. That's changed a little bit. I guess they're giving you more divisions now, so that you can have now 9 divisions on the screen as opposed to the 6 or the 8. And it's the same thing. You can view a roster, modify a team, create a new team, free agents, move a team to a different division, import a team, and exit. So those basic functions are there. And I'm assuming, and you know what happens, Ronnie, when you assume? The manual should pop up. And so, voila, the 54-page manual for Action PC Football. Okay, so that comes with the game. And the strategy guide, which is a 36, and that kind of goes through, and if there's something that, depending on how much you want to get involved, shows you how to do things and gives you some tips on how to do that. I believe, 100, is it 144 is the greatest since, yeah. There's the post-1970 and the pre-1970, which is essentially post-merger and pre-merger. So 2 nice PDFs to read through if you want to do some reading. And that kind of goes through. Internet stuff, like I said, yes, right. Two 144 sets. One for the post-merger, which is 70 through 2011. Super Bowl teams, good conference championship teams that didn't quite make it. And the other one, pre-170, which is just a lot of first, second, and third place teams. So that goes from like 1920 to 1969. So, anything else, gentlemen? Make sure that is on me. So we'll probably do like a Monday night or a Sunday night. A Monday night or Tuesday night game, depending on what other people got going on. We'll go through a full game, and treat it as, well, no, we'll do some one-offs back and forth, probably Monday night, because I know I got baseball on Tuesday, to give it a full run. If you're interested, keep an eye on the forums, Tapa Talk, or just doing Action PC Football forums. People will find errors. I didn't see anything that said, "Ooh, that doesn't work right." That's always a good sign. But as people play, I mean, one of the things about it coming out so late, it came out like, what, 6:50 Eastern time, is that you just never know what people are going to find. So to recap, on the screen, can you put up a team from other season to this season? No. You can create a league folder, Dale, and put teams from other seasons in there, but I can't right now open unless I change the active season. I can't put up like a 1974 team under what I've got now. There is the encyclopedia, but I'm not real familiar with that. $30 gets you 144 great teams, and Dave always has stuff on sale. I'm surprised stuff won't be on sale this week because it's the draft. And so you might get a good deal on decades and seasons and all that. And of course, if you go to sportsreplays.net, that's where a lot of the mods come from. You get the pictures there. Good homebrew seasons, lots of college teams. If college is your jam, 47-year-old man talking about things being your jam. So it's, Action PC stuff's a good bargain. If it's full price now, wait a couple weeks. It'll go on sale again. So for those of you looking for baseball seasons, you just wait a few weeks and you get 2 seasons for $15. Anything else? Dave Gardner, is there anything else that you wanted to make sure that I showed you while we were all still gathered here together? Would I say that this was a must upgrade? Yes. I think enough has changed that if you're kind of on the fence, and certainly haven't bought in a couple of years, I would definitely get. I think just the ease of offensive play calling and the streamline of how to get to shuffle players in and out, I think is worth the price of admission. Plus, you get the 2018 season. And if you're, certain people who live like ID Jester, who loves the Patriots, you get the new Patriots team. I know you love that. He's always having sales. And so, I paid $38.20 for this, and it came with that. So even though it was marked for $50 or $48, I got the original sale price, which was $43. And if you own a version of PC Football, you just type in upgrade, and it knocks another 10% off, I think. So I saved $10 or $12 just on this. And, we're going to do the 1986 season come the fall. And so we're going to do another, major football project. And so this will be the engine that we use. And so even if I don't get a lot of usage out of it now, we did 50 football streams with last year's version. This will be heavily used. Is there anything else that you wanted to see that I haven't shown you? And like I said, last call for questions. I'll give you guys a minute. So probably Monday night, I'll do a game. Not sure what I'll do. Robbie, what do you want to see for a game? I was kind of mean to you earlier. So tell me what you want to see, and that's what we'll play Monday night. How's that, buddy? So we'll just go through a game and play it as like a game and call it through and see what we notice for changes there. But just by the looks of things, this is a mature product. I think this is the 25th and 26th year of Action PC Football. And he's made it easier. You wanted to see the 2018 Cowboys, okay, against... They can't play against themselves. I can make a joke there, but... And so, other guys in the chat, anything else that you want to see or any other questions? Well, Robbie figures out who he wants his... all right, so Monday night we'll do the 18 Cowboys and the 18 Steelers. And we'll be just like I do with any other football game. I'll play both the offenses. And hope the helicopters crash in because those are two teams I really don't like. So, yeah, so we'll do the Cowboys and the Steelers on Monday night. We'll do some Monday Night Football for you. So any other questions before we go? Anything else that you want to see? Definitely, if you haven't bought in a couple of years, I think it's a must-get. Even if you bought last year and were confused, I think just the changes in how the offense is set up and how the scheduling screen is set up, I don't think you're going to be as confused. I think it's much more user-friendly. Thanks, Dale. I appreciate that. Looks like it keeps track of stats. And so if you started a replay, here's the other thing. If you're watching later, if you started a replay, I didn't see anything that was newly tracked that I haven't seen before. So unlike the baseball game where sometimes it's just best to start a new season or restart a replay once a new version comes out, you should be fine. The goalpost and the goal, that could be fun. And Arizona got Murray #1. For those of you watching that want to watch the draft. Thank you, Clinton Parks. No, I'm not going to change around the rules. That just fouls things up. If that, you got to bring back the 15-yard holding calls. Yeah, you should, Robbie. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it, and there's some good home brews. The high school rules, must be that's got to be for running clock, I would think. Dave, you got any other questions? So Monday night, we're going to do the Cowboys and the Steelers circa 2018. And just treat it like a regular one-off game and see what we notice. But right now, it just looks like it's a fun game that, the changes are subtle, but very solid. And so if you're on the fence, if you're not quite, gotta like football games, obviously, but if you're on the fence, yes, I think that you're going to find that the user experience is better. Strictly baseball. Yep, I understand that, Clinton. I know you're not going to buy it, but people will watch and people will ask if they should get it. If you bought prior versions of the past and weren't quite sure, definitely get this. If you're not sure if you should upgrade from year to year, I guess I'm biased. You could call me a fanboy, but yeah, there's some pretty good changes to the offense. I think it's going to be easier to call if you're not quite sure. One last call here. But overall, I think it was worth the wait. I think he's done a good job. I'll be curious to see what people have to say over the weekend in the Action PC forums about possible changes. Maybe hopefully find some photo packs for 2018 to throw in with everything else so we can get a better visual presentation. People have started to work on it already on the college level. There's a new Action PC community site. I forget what it is, but if you go to the forums, you can find it. I'm going to check the forums to see what they think. Then I'll wait a second to see if there's anything there. So yeah, if you're a member of the Action PC community, there's now an Action PC community website that has a central place from new mods and stuff. And Sports Replay, as I spit all over the place, sportsreplay.net, sportsreplays.net. Those check there too if you're new. You can find older fields and uniforms and helmets and logos and pretty much whatever floats your boat. So we'll give Dave a second to see if he can find anything. And as I said, Monday night we'll play the Cowboys and the Steelers. And I assume that Robbie wants that game from Jerry's World in Dallas. I'm always in Delph. Okay, yep. Yes, it's already transferred, Dale, because it's reading from the DK Sports folder. It doesn't read your data from the Action PC football folder. So it's already there. It's already there. You just load up. That's why I was able to show you the 78 stats, because that was the season that we completed in the old version. Just loaded right up. Yeah, and Clinton's always at Delphi. So if you're not following Clinton Parks, you should. And, he can give you an update on things. But not many people over at Delphi play the Action PC football. A lot of people who play APA football over there. Like I said, overall, I'm quite happy with the product, and we'll give the chalkboard and the graphics a further whirl on Monday night. So while I wait to see if Dave's got anything to report from the forums, I'll tell you that tomorrow we'll play Game 2 of our doubleheader between the Chicago White Sox and the Milwaukee Brewers. Nothing scheduled on this channel for Saturday. Hopefully Al will feel better, and we'll do chat with Al. Sunday night will be a special baseball game because didn't want to do a doubleheader and then stream again tonight. So the last game of the week, the St. Louis Cardinals will host the Cincinnati Reds from July 15th or 17th, 1982. You have fun going to Freehold, New Jersey. No, I won't. So we'll give this a full run through on Monday night. If there is a need for an emergency patch, Koch is very good, or Cook is very good at getting things out. But I didn't see anything that kind of struck me as an going through things showing you guys tonight. So hopefully there won't be any need for that. Play action was moved. Right, that is now, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, a lot of those buttons that were on the bottom of the offensive play calling have been shifted around. You haven't lost any of the availability. Hopefully things will be easier to find. Oh, you're going to Freehold, New Jersey. Say hi to Bruce for me while you're there, all right? All right, anything else, Dave, that I should know about? So I told you what's coming up on the channel. Hopefully we're doing Chat with Al on Saturday night. We'll do baseball Sunday night at 7. And then we'll do a football game. But first, honest to goodness, the Robbie Wartburg Bowl. You sure you don't want me to play the Texans? You are from Texas, Robbie. I mean, I can do Dallas and Houston just as well as I can do Dallas and Pittsburgh. But Robbie got to pick the first game that we're going to stream, and so that will be Monday night at 7. Anything else? We'll give it a minute. At some point, we'll do the basics of Action PC basketball. But the new scheduling thing, I think, is a step in the right direction. Wouldn't necessarily use it, no. Nope. Okay, so that will do it. So if anything important pops up, we're obviously here a lot, and so we can do that. So yes, if you just a quick 5 seconds, yes, if you like Action PC Football, I think you're going to really like this version. Hit that like and subscribe, and if you hit the little bell, my cat won't beat me up. It'll tell you when I go on to stream. So thanks to all of you for watching. That's our first look at Action PC Football 2019. I'm Ron Juckett. Baseball tomorrow, baseball Sunday night. Until then, I'll talk to you the next time. Thanks a bunch.